Aries, welcome to your Astroflower reading for February. We're going to be going into your chakras, your aura, and finishing off with tarot cards, which will go over the 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Without further ado, we've already sort of connecting to your energy. Right, let's connect into your chakra system. So here we go. Okay, so now we're into the root. No, there's a lot of fire down there. There's a lot of heat. And both sides, less on the right-hand side, but more on the left-hand side, but very well defined. And it's almost as if like the root chakra is pulling up into you. Okay, so this man is sat in a lotus position, and that does tend to bring up the root chakra a lot more. When we're standing up, it elongates anyway. But even on a standing position, it's still really tight within you, which is a good thing, a nice thing. But there's a lot of heat that goes along with it. So I would just be a little bit wary of, trying to. There's two ways in which you can skin this. If you try and stick to a plan, you're very good at making plans and executing them. That's what Aries is fantastically good at. Sometimes all best plans are fraught with problems. So the more you plan, the more problems there can be. So there is a degree of sort of having a fine balance between having obtainable goals through echelons, sort of steps between the beginning to the end. So I've got to, let's just say I've got to make a video, I've got to edit it, I've got to upload it, I've got to, etc. And it's trying not to sort of put too much definition around each little stage so that it can overlap slightly the other. Because otherwise the tension inside you could be a little bit too strong, and you could end up working yourself to the bone because you're one of these, you're one of those real worker signs. But on the right hand side, it's a little bit lighter. There's a little bit more sort of space in it. So on the relationship side, that also sort of plays nicely for you at the moment. But I think this has got to do with in February, we're coming into the last month. By the end of February, it's in the last month really for the majority of Aries signs. And it's all about positioning as well, which is the same thing from autumn. And I explain it as like a leaf that's falling from a tree. That's the memory of the last year as it falls to the ground. And the tree observes every leaf that falls to the ground and observes every memory of the last year that it had, that it lived, getting ready, preparing itself for the next year. And that leaf falls to the floor and becomes the sort of compost, and the sort of it feeds the roots and the dreams of tomorrow, of the following year. And you're into this process at the moment, Aries, and this could also be a reason why the root chakra is tightened up, as it were. There's a lot of foundation work going on there. It seems to be a lot of organization. There's a lot of energy going into that section there. Let's see what's going on with your sacrum. Your sacrum's really quite nice, actually. Looking at the strength of the root chakra, the sacrum's in a really good position. I was expecting a lot more coming out on the left-hand side than the right, and that doesn't appear to be the case. So there is a lot of calm within you. Maybe it's because it's working on those plans you enjoy working on plans. So it might be a case here that you're really enjoying, and you don't see it as work in a way. So you see it as enjoyment. So that could sort of give it that brief harmony within your sacrum. That's not eternal. Obviously we can't eternally work 80 hours a week or whatever planning you're doing, and constantly planning. At some point you've got to go ahead and live it. That's when the sacrum can play a lot more. But in the moment, it seems to be putting things into place. And if you saw on the collective reading for the month, it's all about positioning for what's coming up in the first 10 days of March. There's loads of changes going on there, loads of conjunctions with planets. And there's also Pluto that's going to be coming out of Capricorn, going into Aquarius. So we're moving into truth and honesty, and a fair crack at the whip for the human race in a way. It's going to give the world a bit of a leveling playing field by the looks of things. I'm looking forward to this sort of like next 12 years of Pluto in Aquarius, because I'm Capricorn. It's just coming out of Capricorn, so it's nice to say goodbye to it after a while. So there's that balance there that's going on, and it does seem to be helping you to position yourself for a very good start of March, leading you up to your birthday season. Let's just see what's going on your solar plexus. It's going to be a little bit there, I think. So we return to this. And this is what I say is the anomaly of February. This appears to be a situation where, and there's not one sign that hasn't had this. So it's a general thing where the solar plexus seems to be fusing or being diverted from its natural position with its interaction with the heart. I don't think it's necessarily the heart that's doing it, because if you look on the underside of the heart, you get that as well. You get that fusing factor. I think it's almost as if like the two are being pulled together like magnets, like two sort of stars that are just going in that flow. And this is where I tie it into the idea of the pole shift energy that's going on at the moment, which I go into on our sister channel called Cymatic TV. We can see that in the solar plexus. Your solar plexus is really well formed, actually, similar to what was happening in the collective reading, and really well defined. Apart from the top section, which is where it all sort of gets merged into the heart. So it's a very strange. I've been doing this for 30 years on people. In my healing and stuff like that, and I go through this, and I've been teaching it on my workshops for the last 20 odd years, and I've never really seen a situation like this, to be honest, and very interesting indeed. And I do believe it's got to be, I'm doing a podcast, and we're going to be going into how the magnetic fields are affecting our energies, and I'll post that on here. You'll be able to see that all on Instagram. So you'll be able to see when that comes out. But I'm going to do a particular video on that because I want to know what's going on. So basically, the fusing of the two, that was a bit of a long explanation. I do apologise, Aries. The fusing of the two is basically you're going to be getting a lot of that passion, that confidence, that courage, that fire that's coming through the solar plexus, mixing with the heart energy. Now, the heart energy is actually quite a lot of water. It's almost like mist in a way. It has a lot of water or sensation to the water to it. Very, very emotional. And when you mix fire and water, it can be very, very explosive. So I would be very wary of, I'm saying very a lot, but I would be wary of, being caught in conversations where the emotions are running high, which may spark that bit of kick of the solar plexus through words that you may say. And it'd be interesting to see what's going on the throat and the third eye. But let's just see what's going on the heart here. This is interesting as well. There's another thing going on the heart there where there seems to be another split. We talked about the split in the collective reading, and you might want to go and have a look at that. So you've got that double split that we were talking about. So the interior, the emotions that come really straight from you, and then on the exterior, there seems to be a slight pinching of your heart. It's almost as if like you're... Yeah. Okay. So you're in your autumn month, and you're going to be weighing things up. And I think this is what this process does, in accordance to your everyday life, basically. Because it's not an actual pinch, as in like it closes off like the other one, the two sections. But this is like, it's like a pinch, as if it's you're weighing up scenarios, how you feel about things. And that could be anything from work to play, work to emotions and relationships and workplaces and stuff like that. But there's not a great deal of pressure on you to socialise, to get out there and socialise, as it were, because you've got a lot of sifting to do. Let's just see what the third eye and the throat chakra, how that's going on there. Okay, so I'd be wary of judgment, basically, rather than the things you say, because your third eye is a lot greater than your throat chakra. Now, this is also an autumn thing, because we're thinking about things, we're visualizing things, we're basically what you're doing in the process at the moment. If you're in your rhythm, according to the Astroflower, in these months leading up to your birthday, this is the time when you start really doing big manifestations for the coming year. And to do that, you need to have a very clear vision, but you also have to have a clear application of your energy into the manifestation. And then also you have to have a physical manifestation. And the physical manifestation comes out after that. So there is a process that you're going through here, and it is to do with that sort of planning aspect of it all. So I would just be a little bit wary as well on that side, where getting out of your head and into your heart. Just make sure you do have activities as well, which allow you to, it's like an offset, it's like a safety valve that just kind of takes a bit of pressure out of your planning at the moment, or your organisation at the moment, because this month here, I think it's that positioning is going to be good. Now, there is also a learning aspect of it all, which we saw in the collective, and that's what it appears like it's in your crown chakra, because there is, let's just go in and see the consciousness that's inside the crown chakra. This is where your conscious levels are, and they seem to be stepping up a mode here. There seems to be getting another degree of complexity to it, which is putting a bit of a pressure on your crown chakra. And this is where you're going to provoke a lot of learning about things. If I do this, this is the result, and this is what it provokes afterwards. So then you can consciously apply this in the going future. So this is a learning curve on this month, and it's been for everyone, about how we apply energy to our emotions and stuff like that. That's really, really quite nice, actually. It's a fun-packed month for you, because you're going to be learning a lot, which you like doing, and planning a lot, which you like doing. So you may well think, you may feel that you're a little bit withdrawn from the world, but I think that could be quite a good thing. A bit of a hermit situation where you come out after your birthday and you just explode with all the new stuff that you've got going on, but really nice, really, really nice. A lot of energy. How can that be helped in meditations? So meditations there is getting, you're going to need to organize your day in a very loose way, in a sense where in the meditation you go for the tea meditations, you go for your needs and your wants, and be very clear about that, and very clear that what's possible to do in the day and not what's impossible to do in the day. So then you can reach those targets and you feel like you're getting on rather than getting swamped. And this is where you can then start applying your consciousness within it and start manifesting. So let's have a look at your aura. Now, there is an aspect of the aura which is happening here. It is the same thing. There is a change in the aura, like your magnetic field, as it were. And this is what brings me closer to the idea that I think it's connected to the pole shift energy, which we are immersed in. We are 100% dependent upon the Earth's magnetic field. If there is no magnetic field, we will all stop living straight away. Everything will stop living. You know, and with a pole shift, the magnetic field drops to a certain extent, goes so low that's when we get mass extinctions of just animals just sort of kind of going, oh, I've had enough, I'm off. You know, and it could well be humans, you know. But you know, there's a change in your aura, and it seems like, and I will be doing, this will be a video that I'm going to be doing on this as well. There seems to be a situation where a layer of your aura, so like a field, like your magnetic field is made up of like onions, like several layers. And it's like one of those layers is being split into two new layers. And as that's being created, it's sort of filtering down through the inner layers of your aura. So the outer layers, you go up it, and then you meet this ridge. And that's where it's being born. On some signs, it's a lot more developed. On other signs, it's a lot less developed. But it's all happening in the signs. But yeah, I will be doing an investigation on that. So you are also going through a transition which is incredibly long. You know, it's been coming for the last sort of like 12,000 years, to be honest with you. And you're living through the process. It's an amazing time to be alive. That's why life should be fun. It should be enjoyed, even when it's difficult. You know, because it is an amazing time to be alive, even if it is at times quite horrific. You know, I think we can all agree on that. But at the same time, I think, you know, we should be looking at the world kind of going, oh, that's mad. Why would someone do anything like that? Well, that's stupid. You know, don't have to do that again. So lessons are learned really, really quickly. So there you go, Aries. I would visualize, to help this transition in your aura, in your meditations, I would try and visualize like a world, and how the interaction goes, how we live life in the future. And, you know, and I'm talking in the next sort of like 10, 15 years. You know, what sort of hopes and aspirations do you have for that world? What sort of energetic state will we be in? And how will we be connecting our energies between each other? That can help the aura to do the transition. So yeah, let's go into your tarot cards now. Let's see what's going on with your overall energies. So we've got the overall energies here. We've got the karmic message on the relationship side, karmic message on your financial side. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks on both sides. So we'll be going through that, as it were. Let's just see what the overall energy is. Mastery, knowing, this is where I think it's good to sort of set reasonable limits to things, so you don't feel like you're getting bogged down, so you will start mastering a lot. And if you do that, you'll actually end up doing a lot more than trying to do everything. So yeah, and I know you are the master of planning. I have lots of Aries around me. I know they're brilliant at this sort of thing. My brother, who I love dearly, has got, he's one of his best phrases is, okay, let's make a plan of action. You know, he's absolutely brilliant like that, and it seems like that, and there's a certain mastery or accomplishment within you. The devil, obsessive about it, maybe. That's what I was saying, you got to be a little bit careful about, the obsession with it. But also the devil is the light bearer. It's bringing in the light to you, so you can actually see clearly the possible pathways in front of you as you're trying to sort of work out what you want to be doing next year. Filtering stuff like we were talking about within your heart, you know, weighing up the pros and cons. The devil does help you to do that because the devil is in the detail. And also the devil will not lie to you. So these, you know, the devil cannot lie. That's the thing with the devil. As the devil cannot lie to you, as you're learning these things, you're learning eternal truths that are within you this month, and that's the possible thing that's coming through your consciousness in your crown chakra. So let's just have a look, see what's going on on the karmic message. This is on your relationships. I would, my brother's a hard worker. He works very hard, my brother, and he's got a lot of success to go along with it. That's what hard work gets, I guess. But I'd rather have an hour of good quality time with my brother than say like a whole day where he's a little bit doing other stuff, trying to get other stuff sorted out. You know what I mean? And I think quality here is, in the relationships, it's here they're sort of saying quality, not quantity. The Emperor. That is you, Aries. You are that Emperor. That is you at the moment. It's like kind of going, I'm here. I know what I'm doing. What's the score? What's occurring? As I'd say in that program. But like that's, I think this is it. I think this is quality, and this is what Emperor is all about. It's going to give you quality and masterfulness. Let's just see what's going on the karmic message on your financial sort of side. You're accumulating, building up boxes. It's almost as if like you're sort of doing work, kind of saying, I'm not even going to take from that work. I'm just going to let it accumulate. And that's going to provide a lot of security for me or the company or the project that we're doing and everything like that. It's accumulating a lot. A bit of a leap of faith. You're going to have to try things out, because that is what is in the process at the moment. The process of working out what you want to be doing next year. So if you do want to change job, at the moment, it's thinking, where would I like to work? What would I like to do? With who would I like to work? That sort of thing. And you've got to take a bit of a leap of faith with you because of the changes and the positioning that we need to do for the beginning of March. It's going to help you to understand that working 80 hours a week is not necessarily going to make you happy. And maybe it's a question here. It's a leap of faith into quality rather than quantity. So rather than working all the hours under the sun, it's just sort of saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to work less, but I'm going to put in a good quality work for you. And I think this is going to actually offer you a lot of things. The funny thing is that you got the devil there that's offering up that crystal, the light, as it were. But then you've also got the fool that has got that crystal as well. There's a combination here where the overall energies and your karmic mission is intertwined here in that examination and that obsessiveness going forward of getting good quality. And I think that's going to demand a little bit of a leap of faith within your sort of career path or your business or your job and stuff like that. So let's just have a look, see what's going on in the first week on the relationship side. There's a touching of base, basically, with loved ones that are close to you. Having a cup of tea, touching base with people. Yeah, having a bit of a heart-to-heart. And it's not a heavy heart-to-heart at all. It's just sort of kind of going, oh, did you see that person the other day? Oh, yeah, they were really nice. Haven't seen them in ages. Be nice to see them. It's just taking that, getting it. I think this is where the quality comes into play, actually. Ace of Hearts, it's the quality of conversation or connection with people rather than mass of connecting with loads of people. Let's see what's going on in your relationship on the financial side. I think there's a big deal coming up. So either you're looking for a job and stuff like that. I think it's on the horizon. You can almost in this first week, you can almost notice a change. Could be a change if you're running a business, could be a change in your business, change in the clients that come in, the sort of things you're sort of selling, and it give you that inkling to move on to greater things within your business, or same thing within your job, looking at the career path and stuff like that. You're going to get this sort of sensation that you're really you're on the cusp of something, and you may notice it in this first week, and it is that intuition. So you risk to be within your workspace, you risk to be quite intuitive this week in regards to noticing possible future opportunities within that sort of world. Let's just see what's going on in the second week. This seems to be much more moving from having a nice coffee with someone, of actually moving into sort of social activities. So actually starting to move out and build bridges with the people that is around you. Yeah, it's playing smart. I think it's a case of giving time over to doing activities and relationships that are around you that you want to nurture, basically. On the financial sort of side, there's something getting bigger each week. It gets bigger and bigger. Of this thing, you're going to notice it within the first week. I think in the second week, it's going to be blatantly obvious in your face. Do you know what? Aries, I was going to say it just before, actually, when I was drawing on that card there, but every single sign has had this card. I'm not joking. Every single sign. That and the High Priestess. Seven of Swords has come up with loads. And I think this could be this thing that's looming on the horizon. Now, this is a similar sort of thing. And this is how it plays out. It's not like oh no, it didn't turn up, I didn't get the money and stuff like that. It may well be for some of you. But I think for the majority of people, because it's been the same for everybody, it's a case that this big new opportunity is coming up. So that means you're going to go and have to go and work somewhere else, or you're going to have to change your activities in your life, or change company or something like that. So therefore you're going to have to leave an environment that you actually really liked, and it's almost makes you feel a little bit disappointed, or you're just disappointed with the outside world of how they're not getting it. They're not getting this transition that we're going through. And it seems like that's the other aspects. So there's two aspects of it. So it's either the sort of moving away from people around you that you really love, and the second aspect is a case of being disappointed in the world, that the world is not, the human world, because it mainly comes in on this side, but the human world does not get it. And it's like it's kind of like, oh my God, sort of scenario. We've got on the other side, you've got the Seven of Swords. Now, this is the other thing that's been coming up with everybody. It's the second week. And this is also that February anomaly, which I'm talking about. And I've been talking in the yearly readings. If you haven't seen your yearly reading, go back and see that. Go back and see the collective yearly reading as well. And also, this monthly collective reading as well. It's tying in, and it's going to help you to, seeing those readings there, it's going to help you to actually position yourself as we go forward. Let's just see what's going on in the third week. This is a lot more vibrant. So we've moved from that lovely, cozy connecting with quality rather than quantity. Now there seems to be a lot more activity, a lot more sort of communication going on there. Communication. And I think this is where people are going to, this second week in February, whatever it is, it's going to bring people together, and we're going to have to start nurturing our relationships a lot better. We're going to have to connect with the people a lot better. And it seems to be that although the Seven of Pentacles is not really moving, oh my God, I've just noticed something else that everybody else has been happening. Everybody's been having, I can't even speak anymore. Everybody has been having doubles on this side. So, 2 sevens, you've got 2 sevens, and other people it's been 2 fours, but 2 sevens has come up quite a lot actually in everybody. So yeah, it's just it's almost sort of kind of going, this has got to be done, this has got to be learned. It's a real sort of kind of going, this, you shall not pass, as it were, sort of scenario, unless we get through it. Let's just see what's going on the financial sort of side in that week. Decisions. There is decisions that need to be made that week, according to the second week in February, the anomaly, basically. Yeah, and in that decision, you're going to be into full manifestation mode. I think you're going to make that decision quite clearly within yourself, actually. And from that decision, you're going to go, in that case, I need to do this. I need to manifest this. I need to manifest that. And that's the, playing that, repositioning, as I said, as we come into the March situation. And yeah, you are obviously going to have a lot more on your plate, I think, in that week there on the material side of life, and also on your relationship side. Let's just have a look, see what's going on here, and the outcome in the final week. It's like you're arriving at a party. It's almost as if you're going into that week kind of going, I want to know what's going on in the following week. I need to know what's going on in the following week. What is going to happen? How is this going to plan out? There's a lot of, I don't think it's like uncertainty, but it's not like uncertainty in a very frightful way. I think it's in a very excitable way. Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, Seven of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Would you Adam and Eve it? And it's what comes out of the blue, basically. So these are ideas that are being provoked out of the blue for you. And if you're getting out of the blue ideas, yeah, I would go into that. And it's going to provoke that sort of sensation and kind of going, I can't wait till next week to find out what we're going to do. This is going to be great. And it's going to free you up a lot. And that's where I come back to that idea that when you're going to be doing this planning for the next year, make sure it's made up of increments that are not too much detail. Let's just see what's going on the fourth week on the financial sort of side. It's like the dams have been broken, and it's almost as if like there's a, when you're harvesting fruit, when you're doing fruit on a tree, you may have it like 100 flowers, let's say, so you get 100 fruit that start, but you're not going to get the 100 fruit that come to fruition. And even on the fruit that come to fruition, there's some that's going to ripen up too quickly, and go bad on the tree, as it were, go too much sugar. So there's a certain thinning out of that big sensational idea that was coming in around this section here, and letting that out allows for a lot of good ideas, a lot of opportunities, basically, a lot of possibilities. Which is going to set your path going forward. It's almost as if the dam has broken, and that's going to wash things through, and that's going to push you down your path, because that is pretty much you, Aries. That King of Wands. The same thing from that Emperor. It comes through the the central sort of thing. It's through the overall energy as well, where it's, you know, obsession of the path. And you're going to head off. You're going to head off in that direction. Absolutely a great month for you, actually. I think you're going to really like it. I would just, you know, make sure you're conscious of your heart chakra and everything like that, and connecting to your pleasures in life, and having, you know, a certain little bit of flexibility within everything, so you don't, you know, create too much problems for yourself. Yeah, so there you go, Aries. Thank you very much for being with us. Yeah, if you're not subscribed already, then why not? You should be. If you made it this far, absolutely brilliant. Love you dearly. Yeah. In the meantime, all that's left for me to say is, you know, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.